Top 11 hardest to visit countries. 1. Eritrea. Eritrea is one of the most authoritarian states. As such, it has no interest in tourists. There is no tourist infrastructure at all. It's hard to get a visa, as it can be rejected at any time. If you're not a Muslim, the chance is very slim. If you've ever been to Ethiopia, forget it. 2. Bhutan. Bhutan isn't hostile, it's just not very tourist-friendly. The official tourism policy is high value, low impact. So every visitor has to pay a mandatory daily fee. The fee is $200 in the low season and $250 in the high season. It covers food, transportation, and lodging. No cheaper options are available. The number of people allowed in Bhutan is also restricted. 3. Somalia. Somalia has been ravaged by decades of civil war. The government is reluctant to endanger any visitors. To enter the country, you need to hire a security team. It costs about $1,500 a day and comprises armed guards. This has to be done before your visa is approved. 4. Turkmenistan. Turkmenistan is about as welcoming as North Korea. First of all, it requires a letter of invitation to visit. Getting it is tricky if you don't know anyone in the country. Most tourists to Turkmenistan are Iranian. The only way to get a visa is to sign up for a guide and pay up front. Unguided tours or even walks are not allowed. 5. Saudi Arabia. The Saudis are simply not interested in tourists. There have been some changes in recent years, but just a little. If you're a Muslim, you can visit it on Hajj. Otherwise, the best option is to try for a transit visa. Women aren't allowed in, unless accompanied by a male relative. 6. Angola. Angola was ravaged by a civil war that ended in 2002, but the country discourages tourism. Visas are extremely hard to obtain. It takes 8 weeks, in-person interviews, and hefty fees. There are also very few flights to this African country. 7. Syria. Syria is a no-go zone since the civil war ended. There are no direct flights to Syria. Independent travel is not allowed, so you'll need a special security clearance. It must be organized through a travel agency in Syria. A letter of invitation helps to get in, but only to Damascus. 8. North Korea. Independent travel to North Korea is impossible. Only organized tour groups are allowed. You can't bring in cell phones or take random pictures. You can't go where you want to or talk to locals. You can only stay in one designated hotel in Pyongyang. Even so, just getting a visa application approved is a gamble. 9. Iran. Westerners cannot enter Iran at will. They need an invitation from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Only then can they apply for a visa. Even if it's approved, you will be under constant surveillance. The Iranian government is notorious for its hostage-taking, so even if you get in, you might not get out. 10. Nauru. Nauru is the least visited country in the world, but it's not a militarized, totalitarian prison. Instead, it's a small isolated island in the Pacific. It has no tourist facilities at all. Only one airline flies to Nauru from Australia. You'd also need to get a visa, and there are only 4 Nauru embassies in the world. 11. Chad. Chad requires a letter of invitation. It should be issued by a hotel in N'Djamena. The letter must specify the purpose of the trip. The hotel has to be booked in advance for a non-refundable fee. Only 2 or 3 hotels can issue the letter. It still does not guarantee the granting of the visa.